What's up guys, this is Nightingale and welcome back for another video of Lost Ember. And in today's video we're gonna take a look at all of the relics that are in the game. So I went out of my way and collected every single relic that are currently in the game right now. So I will go over every single one of them, starting with the amulet. And I'll show you guys each relic's name and their description here, so that you guys can know what you're missing, what specific relic that you're missing, and then you can find a guide on it if you wish. And I will also attach a guide that I follow personally in the description below, so that you guys can follow it if you want. So, without further ado, let's just jump right into it. So, first off, amulet. A traditional yarn named amulet. Children used to get their first amulets in an initiation ritual to welcome them as full members of the Yanrana society. This particular amulet looks pretty worn out. The symbol of its owner is hardly recognizable. So, this amulet, you start off with this relic. You cannot miss it. Next, Hunter's Firestone. On a long journey to find food, hunters would always carry a flintstone with them in order to be able to camp and make a fire to prepare food. For these relics, for some of them, I have made videos on them. For others, I have not. I will have a link at the top right corner during the ones that I made a video on, so that you guys can check it out and see for yourself where exactly the relics are. And for the ones that I have not made a video on, I believe the guide that I have a link in the description, it's pretty good. Sometimes it's kind of vague, and for the vague ones, I try to make a video on it to show you guys exactly where it is. And for others, pretty much obvious ones, the descriptions from the guide are pretty good. I have not made the video on it, so you guys can just follow the guide. And if you have questions, you can also ask me basically where to find these relics. Alright, so next one, Broken Hammer. That's what happens when strongmen use weak tools, I guess. I think this one's pretty easy to get. Odd ball, an odd looking ball. Have you seen anything like this before? So this one. So this is obviously a reference. Yeah, I'm pretty surprised that they've included several references to other games, to other really popular games in this game, and in the form of relics. That's pretty interesting and pretty funny. Alright, next one. Arrow. While the Yarn hunters preferred to hunt with their spears, they sometimes use bow and arrow for ducks, for example. Next, a Talos Firestone, a simple flint stone used to cut wood and bones, or when struck against rocks or metal, can produce sparks to ignite a fire. Cute toy. Loot. No, really, I have no idea what kind of animal this is supposed to portray. Is this also a reference? This might also be a reference. It looks like a piñata. That arrow there, I'm not sure which game this is from. Yeah. Oh well. Next. Skinning knife. A knife that was primarily used in crafting leather and fur clothing. Spearhead. An old spearhead used by the Yanrana hunting parties. Hunting was an important and well-respected part of the Yanrana's lifestyle. Ceramic bowl. The delicate paint suggests this wasn't just a simple dish, but held some more important objects. So for this particular relic, I have made a video about this and where to find it. This one in particular, it's quite hidden. If you haven't found this yet, check out my video for a guide to find this relic. Next, we have hammer, a simple and versatile tool. Wolf stone figure, a small figurine of a wolf probably belonging to a child living around here. Figurines like these were a popular toy amongst the Yanrana children, although they typically didn't feature animals. Axe. The Yanrana used to clear huge forests to make room for their many farms and villages. Ceramic pot. A small pot most likely used to cook. Ceramic vase. Vases like this were used to store wheat or dried tomatoes. Farming hole. People around here were mostly farmers. Tools like this were part of their everyday work and life. Hunter's ceramic water bottle. Small bottles like this were used to hold water during trips or hunting expeditions. A traditional Yanrana amulet, professionally crafted, but very basic in its design. The owner apparently wasn't particularly rich or respected. Fishing hook. A simple fishing hook widely used to catch small fish. Fishing arrow. Fishing arrows were a popular hunting method for fish, used particularly for bigger fish and considered as a favorite fishing tool of the more experienced hunters. Carving chisel. Whenever someone died, the Yanrana used to carve their name symbol into one of the stone pillars to show they would always be part of their life and not be forgotten. These pillars were known as the Whispering Towers, as you could always make out faint prayers and whispers of the mourning family members. Strange pipe. Pipe? A mysterious one. They kind of make want to explore hidden areas. Obviously, this one is also a reference. This is kind of a subtle reference. It's more subtle than the ball here, but it's still definitely a reference. Next, we have the fancy ritual Firestone. The Yanrana used to carefully prepare the dead on a raft made out of dried wheat and wood and decorated with feathers, animal skins and bones. The raft was sent down the eternal river and set ablaze to allow the spirit to leave the body and enter into the Ember palace, which is often found depicted as the sun rising behind a monumental pyramid. Amulet enrichment. While the amulet itself has a person's name on it, these clip-ons represent its status. This one is fairly simple, so probably means it didn't belong to anyone very high up. Big plate. The kind of plate that would be filled with delicious treats for big celebrations when there was still an abundance of food. Grappling hook. This must have been used for climbing. Or were you planning to climb? Hummingbird pluck tool. These tweezer-like tools were used to carefully pluck feathers of hummingbirds. Hummingbirds were considered elegant and agile, and decorations or headdresses made out of their feathers were extremely expensive. Mortar. A mortar used to grind down wheat or dried fruit. Rubber ball. A very popular ball game amongst the Yanrana was a ball game played with two teams on a small court. The goal was to shoot the ball through a small hole. Vase. Well, it's just a vase. Next. Blade of a small knife. This knife was the only weapon allowed in the traditional Yanran wolf against man battle. Bronze prize. The soldiers used to fight wolves and other wild animals in these arenas bare-handedly. This trophy was given to whomever was last standing. Handcrafted gold coin. Some of the wealthier Yanrana would allow their children to carve their own symbol into these coins, resembling the sanctuary plate for good luck and fortune. Medal. A medal, the winner of the traditional wolf against man battles, was awarded in a glamorous ceremony. Wolf chains. Find massive chains used to detain wolves in between shows. Wolf muzzle. Muzzle for the wolves to protect the hunters maintaining the arena. Gold cup. This looks pretty fancy, maybe even the emperor's, probably his wife's. And for this gold cup, I have a link in the top right to show you guys exactly where to find this one. This one in particular is quite tricky, but if you look at my video, you will understand exactly where to find this particular relic. And we're moving on to the next one. Golden Sun Amulet. A Sun Amulet resembling the big plate in the sanctuary. Looks quite expensive. Kalani Totem. Kalani's symbol carved into stone looks like her followers were imprisoned here. Small medicine flask. These flasks were used for various medicines. Maybe this place was an infirmary? Remains of a musical instrument. Sort of a weird structure. I'm guessing it could have been a musical instrument once. Stone figurine female. Someone carved a simple little figurine of a woman, perhaps portraying a friend or relative. Stone figurine little boy. Someone carved a simple little figurine of a boy, perhaps portraying a friend or relative. Stone figurine little girl. Someone carved a simple little figurine of a girl, perhaps portraying a friend or relative. And of course, as you know it, stone figurine male. Someone carved a simple little figurine of a man, perhaps portraying a friend or relative. That's all genders, all ages of stone figurines. And we're finally moving on to Pong Flute, a musical instrument handcrafted from animal bones. The sound color of each individual one was unique. Kalani's knife. Kalani's knife. Even though she never went hunting, she did love her knife as her father had given it to her in better days. Pestle. A pestle to grind spices. There must be a pounder nearby. And of course, pounder. A pounder to grind spices. There must be a pestle nearby. Massive hammer. Very sturdy and large hammer. Pickaxe. A pickaxe, well worn. It either had a hard job or wasn't very well made in the first place. Stone pyramid. Someone used their free time to carve a little pyramid, just like the one in the sanctuary. Buffalo chains. Massive chains. Looks sturdy enough to keep even a buffalo in check. Carved buffalo horn. A buffalo horn made into some sort of tool. Fancy cloth. Oh, a fancy scarf. It's really long though. Might be a little impractical. Meat knife. This sort of resembles the Yanrana meat carving knives, but it looks a bit different somehow. Hollowed horn. A horn all hollow, possibly used to hold drinking water while traveling. Painted turtle shell. This shell survived a really long time. It looks like, perhaps because it was painted with colored wax. And for this particular relic, I also have a video in the top right corner. So if you want to look at where you can find this relic, look at my video and you'll know exactly where to find this. Alright, next we have Spearhead. Looks like the remains of a hunter weapon. Doesn't look Yanrana though. Hair ornament. Looks like this must have belonged to one of the hunter's wives. A farmer's wife would not have been allowed such glamorous accessories. Whistle. Looks like the whistles of the Yanrana used. It initiated a duck's call, for example, and was used as a hunting aid. Friendly cube. Looks like this could have been used for a multitude of things. weigh down stuff, climb stuff. Well, this one is pretty deliberate use in the description here. Weigh down stuff, climb stuff. Yep. The main character used this cube to weigh down stuff and also climb stuff. And this is pretty obvious. This cube here is pretty obvious. And now we move on to the next one. Ocarina, a musical instrument that was quite popular among Yanrana kids, as a lot of children learned to make these themselves. Chisel, a fairly fine chisel, possibly for work on statues and such. Anvil, is this an anvil? Looks a bit odd though, doesn't it? Yep, it looks like an animal, or a man. Heavy hammer, a real heavy hammer. You need pretty strong men to be able to work with this sort of tool. Transport system for stone. This must have been used to lift heavy loads, possibly for construction. This looks like a pulley. Second ring with the second half of the symbol. And of course, ring, a ring with what appears to be one half of some sort of symbol. My understanding, these two halves are part of the same ring, and if you combine them, they would match and become a whole ring. Ancient symbol necklace. Looks like a symbol amulet, but it's not Yanrana and looks really old. Tomahawk. This looks somewhat like an axe, just different somehow. I don't remember the Yanrana using anything like this. Brooch. Some sort of brooch. Looks like a simple clip-on mechanism. Fertility statue. These statues were given to young couples. It was supposed to bring fertility to the new relationship. Drum. Drums like this were used for any kind of celebration. Golden drinking vessel. A fancy drinking vessel. The owner must have been quite high up in this society. Decorative triangle. A triangle. What's it good for though? Just a piece of jewelry? I'm not sure about this one. This might also be a reference to some other game. It looks like something, but I don't remember what particular game this is from. And finally, we have a Talos Amulet, a traditional Yanrana name amulet. Children used to get their first amulets in an initiation ritual to welcome them as full members of the Yanrana society. This particular amulet looks a bit provisional and amateurishly made. And that's all of the relics that are available in the game for you to collect. So, out of these amulets, I believe that, of course, there is the Pokeball. There's something here that I'm not sure of. And then there's the Mario pipe. And of course there's a friend cube, companion cube from Portal, and this thing I'm not sure which game or if it's from a game in the first place, but the description here is its reference probably is referencing a game. Well, I don't know, so if you guys know, please let me know in the comments, and I'll be sure to thank you guys for it. Now, so that's all of the relics, and I have made videos for 3 of the relics that I found particularly more difficult to find, following the guide that I followed, and also it's in the descriptions. So I've made videos on 3 of them because the guide was quite vague in its descriptions. I made guides showing you guys exactly where to look and where to go in order to actually find the relics. Like I said in the beginning of this video, if you guys are looking for some of these relics that you guys don't know where to get, you can always ask me in the comments, and I always respond. I always respond to people's comments. So if you don't know, just ask me, and I'll be sure to help you with finding the relics here. And that's gonna be the end of this video. So if you find this video somewhat helpful, please consider subscribing, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next Lost Ember video. Perhaps yet another relics video on where to find another relic that you guys may have difficulty finding. So yeah, bye for now.